Younger Americans are reporting that the coronavirus pandemic has negatively impacted, or even wrecked, their financial stability at rates almost twice as high as their baby boomer parents. While the pandemic is potentially more of a health concern for older generations, younger Americans are feeling the financial impact. That's according to a new report from AgeWave and Edward Jones that surveyed 9,000 Americans across 5 generations in May and June. The report found that roughly a third of millennials ages 24 to 39, and Gen Z ages 18 to 23, say that COVID-19 has had an extreme or very negative impact on their financial security. Meanwhile, only 16% of baby boomers ages 56 to 74, and just 6% of the silent generation ages 75 and older, felt the same. Additionally, younger generations were more apt to report that they have also suffered a mental decline since the pandemic started in March. The survey found about 37% of Gen-Zers and about 27% of millennials say COVID-19 has negatively impacted their mental health, compared to 15% of baby boomers and just 8% of the silent generation. There are a lot of young people that are kind of running around pulling their hair out right now, says Ken Dychtwald, psychologist and founder and CEO of AgeWave. Meanwhile, older generations reported having fortitude, Dychtwald says. The mental and financial resiliency of older generations is due, in part, to their ability to rely on safety nets, Dychtwald says. Those over 65 have Social Security and Medicare benefits that haven't been impacted by the pandemic. If you're retired, you've moved on from the chaos of the workforce, Dychtwald says. People in their 20s, 30s, 40s and even 50s are getting up each day and trying to figure out if they're going to continue to have a job, if they're going to get an unemployment check, if they're going to be able to pay the bills. If you're retired, you're not worried about that. Not only do older generations have safety nets, they're also more likely to rely on home equity to get through this latest financial upheaval. About 78% of retirees own their homes and 60% have paid off their mortgage, according to AgeWave. They've got lower rent and mortgage payments than the kids living next door or the Gen-Xer trying to raise a family across the street, Dychtwald says. The combination of having safety nets and a secure home, as well as some perspective on having lived through other times of hardship, all contribute toward building up older generations' ability to stress less during this time. Many boomers are actually helping out their adult children. Since the pandemic began, 1 in 4 parents, which is roughly 24 million Americans according to AgeWave's estimates, have provided financial support to their adult children. About 37% of Gen Z respondents reported receiving aid from their parents, while about 26% say they've moved back home.